Good morning and happy Monday. I am on video episode 43 today, and I have Tyler Davis with me. This individual, I don't know if you know Tyler, but he is the owner, founder of Live After 5, which we all love and know here in Coeur d'Alene. So I brought him on. For one, I miss his face. It's nice seeing him, even with the facial hair. And then it's also to kind of tell us what's going on with Live After 5 and how this quarantine has affected you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tabitha, for inviting me on. I appreciate it. Yeah, so like most businesses, we've kind of got kicked in the teeth a little bit about 6 weeks ago, and a lot of funding's dropped off and that, so forth. But we also, we've switched our lineup up about 3 or 4 times in this process as well, just trying to navigate what acts are still able to route in, because as you can imagine, a lot of the other surrounding states are canceling their concerts. Kettle Houses, I believe, canceled all of theirs through September of this year. The Gorge has officially canceled all of theirs through August as well. So it's been a struggle and a challenge, but we're pretty optimistic that if everything goes as planned with stage 4, middle of June, I think we've got green lights to move forward first part of July. So we'll only be, if everything goes as planned, pushed back about 2 weeks from our projected start time with Live After 5. So right now we're looking at July 1st, kicking off in Coeur d'Alene, and July 2nd over in Post Falls.
Oh, perfect. Can you announce any of the concerts yet?
I'm a little reluctant to, just because I want to see how everything plays out. We're still kind of shuffling the deck, so to speak, and waiting to hear back from some of the bigger acts. But a lot of it is going to be contingent on what the cities are going to allow in terms of the crowds and that sort of thing. Kudos to Bill Greenwood and with the city of Coeur d'Alene, and Brian Myers over in Post Falls as well. They've been really helpful throughout this process, and gracious enough to basically give us a lot more green space in both of these parks, to allow for some more of these social distancing measures. Normally we average about 1,500 people at Live After 5 in Coeur d'Alene, and I don't know exactly how that looks. I know there's been a couple of events. There's a National Prayer Day that happened the other day in McEwen Park. They had, I think, upwards of 500 people or something like that. So, if we're going to be held to those standards where it's, 500-600 people, then, it can get a little interesting to what acts we're actually going to move forward with based on affordability. Also, it's got to pencil, it's got to make sense. So, we still want to keep it as affordable as possible for people to come. But, at the end of the day, it's got to make sense as well to do. So, but, we're excited. I think we still have a season ahead of us, and so once we know more of that, we should be releasing our lineup hopefully within the next week or two. I think.
Good. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Events, it's how we run. So, what is the first thing that you're going to do as soon as I know events and the concerts, but what's the first thing you and your family want to do as soon as everything is lifted and you can do what you want?
Get together with friends, have a barbecue, go boating, just do all the stuff that, used to take for granted, I guess. My wife is taking this extremely seriously, and obviously I've taken it seriously as well, but, she's super serious about all this stuff, no friends over, no, gatherings, no, anything like that. Right. So, I've got a pretty solid group of people here that in Coeur d'Alene that I rally with, and so it'd be nice to to see people and actually give them a hug and share a beer or a cocktail and have a barbecue, whatever, right? So
yeah,
I think that's the first.
That's exactly. I know I haven't seen any family or anything, and so I'm very excited for the same thing. So here's a fun question. So what would you do? What one piece of advice would you give a younger Tyler?
One piece of advice you'd give a younger Tyler?
A younger you, what's one piece of advice you give yourself?
Um, hmm. You know, gosh, I don't know, maybe invest in Amazon stock back in 98 or something. You know, go back in time and be able to, do something like that. Obviously, in business or any business, right? You learn by mistakes and trial and error. And, I don't really regret any of those decisions, even though a lot of them were costly decisions to make. But at the end of the day, I'm a lot smarter because of it, and know, how to run the business at this point. So.
Perfect. So tell us a little more. I want to know a little more about Live After Five. So people that don't know much about you or how this all started, tell us a little bit the history behind Live After Five here in Coeur d'Alene.
Sure. So I moved to Coeur d'Alene about 12 years ago. Transferred with my current job, or my job at the time rather, as a social worker for the state of Idaho, and I'd lived in Boise and Idaho Falls prior to moving to Coeur d'Alene. And each one of those cities had an Alive After Five every Wednesday night downtown, both the cities. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of the board of the downtown associations in both of those cities, and was able to, help build those events. And so when I moved to Coeur d'Alene, I quickly realized that nothing like this existed, the concept, the premise. So we kind of, tweaked it a little bit, and created a business model of it, and decided to have a go. So, and we're going into year 8 now.
Wow.
Here in Coeur d'Alene, and year 2 over in Post Falls. So, the growth has been, it's become a lot bigger than what I thought it could be. It's just really kind of exploded, and the opportunity that's provided for us over in McEwen Park here in Coeur d'Alene is amazing. The city's been really great to work with. Happy to announce that three-phase power is finally installed with cam locks in McEwen Park, which, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically enables us to do full-scale production concerts with 6,000 or 7,000 people in the park, and have all the power that we need. Not only the power to run the audio and the lights and sound and everything else, but also there's shore power connectors as well for tour buses and that sort of thing when we bring those guys in. So, thank you to the city of Coeur d'Alene for doing this. It's been a 3-year battle trying to get this done. But it's something that's needed, not just for Live After Five's future in doing bigger events, but also really any promoter that wants to come into Coeur d'Alene. They have a legitimate plug and play situation where, three-phase with the cam locks are there ready to go. So it's, it's definitely an asset for the city.
Yeah, I agree. I was, when you just told me that, I'm super excited. There's so many events that have concerts and things like that, so it'll be perfect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is one of the most important things about Live After Five? I get it, the music, the fun, but what is really, I guess, the importance of having it in Coeur d'Alene and in Post Falls?
Well, it's always been about a gathering, weekly. I mean, I think the reason Live After Five is so successful is that it's, every day of the, one day of the week people can look forward to. It's, people associate Wednesdays with, going to the farmer's market first, perhaps, and then rallying down to Live After Five. It's a gathering place, kind of a rendezvous. We've been told that, a lot of people see, friends that they haven't seen maybe since high school. And, it's just, it's a big, basically created an atmosphere for families to come in. It's super affordable, $5 to get in for most shows. Kids are always free under 12 years old. So, I mean, it's an opportunity to come down, enjoy some world-class entertainment from bands from all over the country that we route in here, and also, some locals as well. But it's kind of, just a social gathering for people to come down and be able to gather as a community and enjoy, the great summers and the atmosphere that we have in McEwen Park, and obviously over there in Post Falls at Tullamore Park. So
And I
it's
think, yeah, you hit it right on the head. Is you're building a community. I know we are an amazing community. We rally around our businesses, our but it really does create that community, and it is something everybody knows about. So
Mhm.
great job in doing that. And I love that you're doing it now in Post Falls. And so what, you also you do a lot of stuff where you promote the community. Like you
Mhm.
had me on talking about Ales for the Trail. Talk a little bit about how you support community and nonprofits.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's always been important for us to include nonprofits as part of Live After Five. So typically we invite one nonprofit at an event. They have they're exclusive to being the nonprofit that is showcased at that particular event. They can use our popularity and our crowd to fundraise or educate, by doing a 50-50 raffle or having some stage time to kind of help promote their nonprofits, educate them. And then on top of that, based on the crowd, we'll donate up to $500 of our gate to the nonprofit as well to kind of help their cause and support them as well. So, something that we started doing in Live After Five almost since inception. I want to say we started that, I think, our second year at Live After Five in inviting, nonprofits to, capitalize on the event itself. So, and, like you mentioned, Ales for Trails, I mean, we're pretty cognizant of that in terms of, timing of when it would be appropriate to invite a nonprofit in. For example, I believe, you were there the Wednesday prior to Ales for Trails happening the next couple of days. So it gave hopefully a boost in ticket sales for that event, or nothing else, be able to educate people and hopefully increase your crowds. So.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. And I was in front of a crowd that I would not necessarily get to be in front of, going to the Upbeat Breakfast or going to like local, like Rotary Club talking about. It was a whole different demographic, which I think is the key point. So since you're out helping the community, you're out in the community, you're doing all these great things, how can we support you at this time?
Well, just, maybe like Live After Five's page and, stay tuned for the events. We will roll out some season passes. I know that we did an initial run a few months ago when we had some national acts, pretty big national acts that we were in conversation with, and some of which we're still under contract with. Which made the season passes about $150 at a discount because we were going to go kind of swing for the fences on this year with the three-phase power. We were super stoked and jazzed for it, and so now we've had to downshift a little bit, and it's going to probably be more of a normal season where we might only have maybe a couple of events that are more than $5, maybe $10 to get in. But then again, it's really contingent on what capacity looks like as well, because if we are capped at 500 people to come in, then unfortunately we will be forced to kind of raise our prices up to about $10 to get in across the board. But for those of you that have purchased season passes, we will certainly make some accommodations for you, whether that's give a partial refund or give you some Live After Five swag, or some additional season passes, to kind of make up for the difference. So once we figure out what our exact lineup is here in the next couple of weeks, and we announce that, we'll certainly start selling some season passes as well. So stay tuned for that, because we do have some exciting stuff coming on, and we just appreciate everyone's support and rallying behind our events.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tabitha. I appreciate it.